Hi everyone. Most people ask for press before they deserve it. They send pitches saying, feature me, or interview my founder, interview uh, our launch, our event, and cover our business and services. But the problem is that if you think about it from a journalist perspective, you are a total stranger to them, and strangers don't get quoted. Authorities do. So today we'll talk about how to engineer authority before you even send that first pitch. Let's get started. Before we proceed, let's understand what journalists actually risk. When a journalist quotes you, they are staking their reputation on you. If your insight is weak, if your company disappears tomorrow, if your members or if your numbers are exaggerated, it also reflects on them. So when they look at your name, they are subconsciously asking themselves, who is this person? Why should I trust them? Why should my audience care? Because authority answers those questions instantly. That's why authority or having a credible image of yourself online is very important when it comes to PR, and that's why we are covering this topic in this video today. Let's start by understanding how we can actually establish the authority we are emphasizing so much here. The first step is clarify your positioning. Instead of focusing too much on your products or service, you need to make sure that you have established your positioning in a very clear way, because authority starts with clarity. If your LinkedIn bio says something like founder, entrepreneur, growth enthusiast, innovator, it's not authority, that's just fluff and extra noise. Authority, when we speak of authority, it should sound very clear, like helping SaaS founders reduce churn through behavioral onboarding, or maybe data privacy lawyers specializing in AI compliance. This is what we are talking about here. The examples I just mentioned are very specific and clear. And when your positioning is clear, it is going to beat the generic positioning every time. Before you pitch, you need to refine your niche so tightly that journalists know exactly where you fit. Second step is you need to publish proof and not promotion. What I mean by this is that you don't need press to build authority. You need proof. And that can be done by maybe creating insightful LinkedIn posts, data breakdown threads, short opinion pieces, case studies with real numbers. When someone Googles you, they should find substance. Authorities build publicly and journalists check always. Next step is about borrowing credibility strategically. You don't have to start from zero. You can actually build authority by association. For example, you can speak at small industry events. You can go as a guest on niche podcasts. You can contribute to industry newsletters, collaborate with known creators. Even one credible logo on your website changes perception. Humans trust social proof, and journalists are human. That's something that we need to really, really focus on. Next step is building a media ready presence. What I mean by this is that before pitching, you need to audit yourself. Like, is your LinkedIn active? Is your website clearly explaining what you do? Do you have a professional headshot? Is there a short, clean bio available? Because if a journalist has to dig to understand you, they won't. Authority reduces friction, so make it easy to verify you. Step 5 is to develop strong, repeatable insights. Isn't about being only visible, it's also about being quotable. For that, you need to ask yourself, what strong opinions do I consistently stand for? What industry myths can I debunk? Or what data do I uniquely have access to? Because journalists love contrarian takes, trend analysis, um, data backed insights, and clear frameworks. When your thinking is sharp, your authority becomes obvious. The next step is to show momentum. People trust what looks active and growing. Momentum signals authority. For example, if you're consistently posting on your LinkedIn and other social media platform, that shows your momentum. When you are doing new partnerships, uh, sharing product milestones, growing community numbers, that's what shows your momentum. Even subtle indicators of traction increase your perceived credibility. Stagnant brands feel risky, active brands always feel relevant. Now, we have discussed about the importance of the authority and a few effective steps on how to build authority and how to portray yourself as a credible source. Let's also understand what happens if you skip this part. You pitch too early. You get ignored, not because your story is bad, but because your foundation is weak. Praise amplifies authority, it does not create it. If there's nothing solid underneath, it won't stick. So, the big shift is that instead of asking, how do I get featured? You need to ask, how do I become the obvious expert? When you engineer authority first, pitching becomes easier. Responses increase, follow ups decrease. Journalists remember you naturally because now you're not asking for coverage, you're offering expertise. Authority is not luck, it's positioning, and it's visibility, it's proof, it's consistency. Build it before you pitch, and when you finally hit send, you won't feel like you are requesting attention. You will feel like you are contributing value, and that changes everything. So, let me know what you think of this in the comments down below, and I'll see you in the next one.